Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start the meeting of the Public Safety Committee for the Common Council of the City of Hudson for April 14th, 2016. Roll call, please.
Alderperson Alms. Absent. Alderperson Hall.
Here.
Alderperson Morset.
Here. Minutes from March 3rd meeting. Are there any corrections or revisions?
No, move to approve.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Seeing none, carries. Number 3, parking, no items. Is there no items?
There are no
Is
parking
that what it
items.
means?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, right to number 4, discussing possible action to barricade Locust Street between 2nd and 3rd Streets for the 9th Annual Locust Street Car Show on the 3rd Sunday, May through September 2016.
As you're well aware, this has come through the committee. This is the 9th year. There hasn't been any issues. It does bring a lot of people to town. Dave Kanoki and his group runs a real good program there, so I would recommend that the committee approve this event.
Any questions?
I'll move to approve.
And I will second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? None. Motion passes. Number 3, discussion possible action on the concept plan for a dog park at Prospect Park. Mr. Zulli, if you want to come up to the podium. Explain why this came out of the park department, and then we all know why it's here.
Sure. The park department had a request from a group of people that had interest in getting a dog park started within the city of Hudson, particularly in one of the parks. I know this item has been brought up, last several years at different locations. Annie Wasman and Laura Foster came and presented some proposals to have the dog park up in Prospect Park. They supplied some sketches and drawings, and to locate this park on the western side of the old hospital site, along with some part of it to go into the hillside west of that old hospital site.
Okay. And you guys presented it to council 2 weeks ago? 3?
It went to the park board first, and the park board approved it and sent it to common council,
Okay.
where I believe that there was some concerns, and it was sent back to public safety.
Correct. So in the meantime, leading up to this meeting, I had asked you to provide your conversation, and we also received many different, I don't know if you
Yeah,
got
I've read them all.
many different emails regarding the location of this and the fact that the neighborhood does not want it up there.
Can I make a comment here? The park board is looking into whether there's a better place for it. Pat Casanova suggested that we look at something near the business park. There's some land that the city owns, and
Yeah.
that might be a better location for it.
Good, because that was one of my other points that he.
After looking at all these letters, I think Prospect Park is not a good place for the dog
Okay.
park.
And also Meadow Park. Now, when I've done my stints on the park board, we purchased or went after the land out on Hanley and Stage Line, which is Meadows Park, for a dog track, or for a dog park. That was what the intention was, along with the water waste, was utility out there?
There's a well that's going to be, there's a well that's going to be going out there.
Yeah.
That's the,
It's 15 acres, right?
I believe so.
14.7 or something like
Okay.
that.
so that's the parcel right next to the freeway.
Right.
Okay.
So that is also an alternative that I think we should explore. I know there's some folks here that want to discuss the issue. Any chiefs want to chime in on that? Thank you, Tom. Hold tight. Rich or Ben Ben, let's start with you. Yeah, Ben, let's start with you. Introduce your name, for the record, and then who you're representing as well.
Yeah, so I'm Ben Wasmond, live up in Stone Pine, 2017 Stone Pine Avenue. So I'm one of a group of people that really kind of put together the idea of wanting to get a dog park in Hudson. So our goal really is to, recognizing the costs that may come up with it, we wanted to see if we could start to get the interest, see if we could get the support of the city, basically to find some area to do it. We didn't take any further steps until we knew we actually could get some area and that the city would be in support of it. So as Tom mentioned and as Joyce saw, in the park board, we actually presented several ideas. And so we aren't set specifically on Prospect. We originally really did like it. What we did do is we stuck with current parks. So a big goal for that was to keep costs down. So the parks already have plowing happening. They already have mowing happening. They already have garbage service happening. So our goal was to not try to create some new park that would have all this expense and try to keep what expenses the city may take on, expenses they already have. So certainly Prospect was an option, Grandview was an option, White Camp was an option, and then there's the area up by O'Neill that had come up as well. So for us, we're just a group that really are looking to find a spot that the city's supportive of and the community's supportive of, and then work to try to get some fundraising and some efforts and some energy and get a dog park in the area.
Okay. And I think we all reviewed your information. I've gotten at least 6 emails around from the neighborhood that don't want it up at Prospect. I want to tell you flat out, I agree with putting a dog park somewhere, but not there.
Sure.
I mean, that's one of our most prestigious parks, and put it up there, and we spent $1.2 million to purchase that land. And we had the intent with Meadow Park, and it's gotta be in the minutes somewhere, that we look at that for a dog park.
Right.
Now, if Pat Casanova and the park board wanna review that O'Neill's, I think that's a good option as well. It's away from any neighborhoods
Yeah.
where there wasn't any neighbors that could have some concerns or whatnot. The other thing is, in the March Municipality Magazine, March 2016 magazine,
Oh, I'll take a look.
there's an article, and I certainly will email people in regards to liability for cities, the issues of noise, safety, and how you go about putting in a good dog park that works for everybody.
Yeah, a big part of it, as we've researched, is really the rules, responsible dog owners. Lots of parks all around the area have processes in place. So when you talk to the cities about those dog parks and you talk about the people that attend those dog parks, say that they're all very well maintained, very polite, very respectful, minimal incidences of anything. And it's because they have those rules in place. And I think that's an important part of it.
Yeah, I agree. And I would strongly urge you to steer away from Prospect and look at these other alternatives, because I think we could probably come to something.
Yeah, and absolutely, that was.
My opinion.
Yep, we agree. We have no problem whatsoever. We pitched, I believe, 4 parks initially,
Yeah.
just to give you some flexibility on our part. We weren't
Appreciate
saying one was better than the other. I'm not saying today
Appreciate it,
one
and
is
I think the
better.
neighborhood would appreciate it
Yeah.
as well.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, and I believe the Prospect really came from the park meeting. The park board is the one that kind of pushed knowing that area. But we are completely open to working with the city and the communities on any of the parks.
Well, and the park board appears to be very supportive of the
Yep.
idea, so.
Yeah, and I think they're pretty supportive of the alternatives that are coming up.
Yeah, and that's the sense we got. We sense there's a ton of support for one. It's just where and how.
Good. Any questions for Ben? Thank you, Ben.
Yeah, thanks.
Anybody else ready to speak to the issue? Rich? Sure, certainly. Just state your name and address for the record, please.
Hi, I'm Anthony Bauer, 502 6th Street. Lived up by the park for a quarter century now. But yeah, I just wanted to I'm hoping this won't go through because it's one of it is Hudson's oldest and probably most beloved park, and the proposed fencing was really kind of along the bluff line. And it's like, well, that's the prime view. This park was kind of put together all those years ago for people and taking advantage of this amazing view we have of the river. And so putting up fences and letting the park go to the dogs doesn't seem right to me.
Okay.
That's all I want to say.
Thank you very much. Dave, did you have anything that you wanted to add? Rich?
Yeah, I just want to say one thing.
State
A
your,
lot of money for that property.
state your name and your address for the
Rich
record.
Kramer, 523 Wisconsin Street, kitty corner from the old Prospect Park. Or the hospital property. Nevertheless, I've seen all that happen up there. I've been there for 60 years. People drop their dogs off, run around the park. you know, and obviously they're not getting up to pick up the feces. It's just, it's kind of out of control. And there's a lot of, what do you call it? Well,
Riffraff?
it's leash law. There's, you know, dogs are running wild up there already. It's already a dog park on, unofficiated. But I think there's a better spot for it somewhere else. That's
Okay.
it. Thanks.
Thank you, Rich. Anybody else have any comments? I will say that this probably will push back to the park board, but regardless of when and if it happens, there will be a public hearing on it before anything's finalized. So just pay attention for the general public for those notices. So with that, I would like to move to send this back to park board
Okay, I'll second that.
with comment, or with alternatives, and that we're denying or not agreeing with Prospect.
Okay, yes, yes. And so a recommendation to find another venue,
Yes.
okay?
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Seeing none, motion carries. So we'll go back to park board. Thanks, guys. Number 5, discussion possible action, number 6, discussion possible action to install overhead lane directional signage on Gateway Boulevard at Crestview Drive. Marty, I'd asked for you to identify the crash scenarios up there.
Did we put the crash data on there, Melanie?
Yeah.
We did put the crash data up there.
What was
There are
the-
a lot.
There is a lot of accidents there. A lot of that has to do with people trying to run the stoplight. But again, I understand, and I talked to Tom Zulli earlier today, understand why people sometimes don't understand how the traffic pattern works because the sign sits off to your right-hand side, and if you're trying to make a left-hand turn, you might not be looking, all right, is this a straight-ahead lane, is this a turn lane? And the north side of the road going south, those lanes are marked differently than the ones that are on the south side facing north. So obviously you can see where the confusion would be. I think Tom was gonna try to get some
Tom, you want to grab the podium
numbers in
again,
regards
please?
to what it might cost.
So Chief Jensen, 145 accidents from, you pulled this from 2000 to 215, 216?
Should be all the actions from 2099
Oh, 99.
to this point.
Okay,
How many was it?
145.
Plus 50, there's.
Right.
there's-
Again, if you take a look at a lot of the accidents, a lot of them are intersection related, and it might not have to do with the turn itself, but people running the light. Obviously, there's a stoplight there.
Oh, I see what you, yeah, plus 50, 145 plus 50,
Right, because there's the ones that are going in this direction and the ones that
They're
are
going this way.
separated out.
200. Tom, Julie.
So, one possibility to help this situation would be to install some arrows similar to what's on the signs on the side of the road and that are on the street markings. So, many times the cars drive up, from a distance, and basically they're sitting on the arrows on the road, or in the wintertime, they don't see those either. The signs alongside the road, if they're busy looking ahead into the intersection, they might not see those as well. I mean, it's good to have them. But I think this would be a good option to try, would be to install some arrows similar to what is on the sign. I don't know if you can see this or not, but I can pass this around. That we could install those on, hopefully on the overhead signs where the signals are. We'll just put them on, similar to what I think is on the triple left turn lane that goes to northbound Carmichael.
Do you remember what the cost on that was, Tom, at all?
These I, just got a rough estimate, and, we're talking a couple $100 per sign, so.
But we have to identify if the mast or the flag or the pole can hold more signage, is that, or put another one up?
If we were to try to center, each arrow within each lane is what my concern is. That sign is, we might have to get one long one or get two smaller ones, and it'd be nice to center each traffic.
Above its lane.
Yeah, to have, in the center of that particular lane. If that's the case, just putting 2 signs up, they're 30 by 30 or something like that, 30 inches high by, that's probably 36 or 40 inches long, that one. But so I don't think the weight's gonna be a problem, we just have to affix it to the overhead signal arm.
So can you get us a breakdown of cost?
It'd be very minimal, I mean, we can do it with city staff,
Okay,
we have our bucket truck. We've installed them before, like up on Carmichael, so I would say the sign itself, like I said, is probably, a few $100s.
so do you want us to put this to finance so we can find the money to pay for it, or you?
I think it would just come out of operating, our sign budget, so if you just request it, I don't think it would have to go, if you're gonna go to council, I don't know if you have to or not, but it's not a stop sign or anything, it's just,
No, I think,
Just a indicator, informational sign
I
is
think we
basically.
don't, I don't think we have to, I mean, we can certainly give it its blessing, but I would certainly move to approve that you put those up
yeah,
at your cost
I'll second it.
and do it sooner than later.
Oh, we'll have to get them ordered, it could take a few weeks.
Sure,
I
sure.
can put the order in, I have to go up and do some measuring first and probably get them ordered first of next week and,
And along with that, repaint the arrows and.
yep, we haven't got the paint
And I
machine
know
out
you're-
yet.
Yeah,
but
I
we
know
will.
you're gonna get on schedule, but that just seems like a nightmare there.
Yes, yes.
People are,
So repaint the, the asphalt, pavement, and then to put these arrows on the overhead signal arms.
cool. Thank
All
you.
right.
So any further discussion from any of the EMS chiefs? I know you've been busy up there, I'm sure you sent rescue, and I know the police have been up there, so this hopefully will help
Signage will help.
alleviate a little bit of what we're doing up there.
Sure, no problem.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you, Mr. Zulli.
Thank you.
Number 7, discussion possible action on safety concerns on Vine Street.
You asked us to continue on this. We
Yes.
did
Yeah.
pass that information on to Public Works. They did look at installing pedestrian signs and what the cost would be. The pedestrian flashing signs are $15,000 a pair, I believe, this time was what they had. Per intersection. So you're looking at $30,000 if you put them at 14 and if you put them at 9th Street. Now, Tom, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe you guys are doing a pedestrian study right now
Right.
down on Vine Street, 4th and 9th, to see how much pedestrian traffic's really going
I
across there.
think you all got emailed Tom's, the River Falls
Right.
crosswalk proposal.
I don't know that I got an email about it, but I've been
I think
through
I
that.
sent it to you and Marty. I don't know if I sent it to everybody on the committee.
Will you send it to her right now?
I-
Or whenever?
Let me,
Screw your thing up.
So currently, we have some staff that are at 9th Street and 4th Street. They're there monitoring and counting pedestrian traffic twice a day from, I think in the morning at 7 a.m. to 9, 6:45 to 9 o'clock, something like that, at 4th and 9th, and then also in the afternoon from 2:30 to 4:30 or something like that. I think they've done it, we wanted to try to do it 2 weeks, I think we're on our 2nd week now.
Okay.
So we'll have some numbers there. The memo that I sent to Randy and Chief Jensen was email that I received from Glenn Wormer from SCH. He does some of our traffic signal studies and is kind of our consultant for traffic. He had seen that we were considering these flashing lights on Vine Street and just sent a memo and said that we should consider several things when we do this. And one was that in order to make sure that you're consistent with your policy or have a policy, because you could get requests once these go up all over town, similar to these little flags that we have all over town now. I mean, one intersection gets them and then that one wants it. And the whole concept of the study is that what warrants having these flashers or what warrants having these crossing flags.
Just to interject on top of that, not to interrupt you, but I kind of try to think of common sense, and that's why I kind of rule. If the folks that are living up there are saying there's an issue with safety with kids, then that's when we should react. I get the policy and setting a precedence. This is just my opinion. I'm not attacking what you're telling us, but I just think they're telling us that there's an issue there, and we have not installed this policy. So my thought is, with a common sense approach, if there's an issue up there between speeding and children's safety crossing the street, we need to react. And if these lights and crosswalks help, that's the direction I want us to take.
Sure. I was just passing along some recommendations from the engineering firm. And it's something to consider. Maybe it's, move forward with this project if it's already being considered.
And
So-
I agree, because we have a policy for the stop signs, and we should probably have a policy for the crosswalks.
Yep.
But when warranted, I think that we need to listen to the constituents on the certain areas where they're being requested and make a common sense approach decision with it.
The other thing that, what is an option, we're manually doing these counts for a few hours in the morning and a few hours in the afternoon. If the city of River Falls has a policy, but they also have some video cameras and computers, and they actually monitor some of their intersections for 24 hours or more, and then they do that for several days. And then that data, then they put that data in and then reference their policy to make decisions on crosswalks and things like that.
And I see that they offered to let us use that.
If we would care to do that.
And I think it'd be helpful. You may be careful of what you wish for, because you never know what you're gonna catch on there.
I don't, yeah, but if the safety committee is firm in installing these flashing lights, then, do we
Now's the
wanna-
time to do it, because we've capitalized for it,
Yeah.
or bonded for it, I should say. So that's why I've been bringing it up.
Joyce, did it get to you?
Sure.
I sent it to your District 6.
No, and I really appreciate your
Yeah, I was just gonna pass along the information that I had from the engineer and the information that we got from the city of River Falls.
Well, I would suggest that we do borrow their equipment with a big thank you, and go ahead and,
To do some
And-
videoing on
Yeah.
Vine Street.
yes.
Thanks.
And,
I can get that set up.
yeah, Joyce, do you have an opinion on that?
Sorry, I was distracted.
I'm borrowing
Thanks, Marty.
You're welcome.
I'm borrowing the equipment to,
Yeah, I think that's a smart idea.
yeah. Do you have any opinions on it otherwise, as far as?
We have to do something.
Yeah.
And there aren't a lot of methods for improving the safety there that are going to be unobtrusive, so.
Right, right.
So yes, I think that the signs probably are a smart idea. And we've got to start somewhere and try them and see what,
Yep. And I think the policy is something for us to take up, or the next public safety committee,
Later date, sure.
whoever it may be. But I would strongly suggest that, yes, we do, but it's a guideline, just like most everything.
Yeah.
We've got to be able to react to the citizenry in a common sense approach way, so.
Well, I can do that. I'll set up see if I can get that equipment and maybe possibly get it going next week or so.
that'd be great.
Okay.
Just keep in the communication with Chief Jensen and this committee, whoever that may be, after next week.
All right. I'll see what I can do.
Thank you very much for the work.
Thank you.
Any other further discussion on Vine Street?
No,
I would, again, put it back on the meeting, so the next committee can also do so. EMS, Fire Department, Police Department updates, number 8.
We've recently hired 5 new EMTs.
Fine, wow.
We started orientation class last Thursday night, and we hope to get them cleared by the end of May.
Very nice.
We're also just have open the hiring process, get your applications in by May 2nd, so if you know anyone looking, if you live up on top of the hill and close to the fire station, maybe a council member already, or interested in getting involved. But
To hitch a ride with Barthman?
yeah, you can catch it. But no, seriously, we're looking for more firefighters. We're doing a hiring process. They have to be in by May 2nd. Also, coming up is a pancake breakfast, kind of an annual event that the fire company puts on. A lot of work goes into that. It's all the money goes back into the fire company, their funds, and they direct it back to the fire department. Doing that also brings up another thing. We really appreciate all the support of all the citizens, everyone coming. I think last year we had about 800 people. The unfortunate thing is they see the fire station with everything out of it and hidden. They don't see it in the actual state of when the crews show up and they can't walk between the
Cramped it is.
rigs, and they have we have hose in between. They're tripping on that, and it kind of brings me up to basically, it's not on the agenda, but it's a point where it's a safety issue. I know there's a committee working on it, but we're at the point now where I think back in 2009 it was noticed that things need to be done, and we really need to get things done. And I just kind of made just a quick list of where we have stuff, and we have frontline equipment sitting outside. We also have equipment at 8th Street Water Garage, the West Garage for Public Works, Buckeye, EMS Garage, and in the winter at the police department. Plus, like I said, we have frontline equipment sitting outside along with some of our equipment stacked that when we get a call, we have to move some just to get some other stuff out. So we appreciate the pancake breakfast. We love having people come in there, but unfortunately, it's not a true reflection of how we operate out of there.
Right.
So come and go see the pancake breakfast, but also just a little bit. We're hoping. It sounds like the committee's moving forward. I'm not sure exactly where they're at. With,
I will strongly say that it's looking really good.
Okay.
Do you have a key for the other property we just purchased?
No.
I will try to facilitate that. I think you should be able to source some equipment up there.
Well, the
Or
big
at least move more of his.
Well, yeah, and that's kind of the big thing is what we're, and hopefully when we get more into the meeting process, we'll kind of, settle that is, for us, it's storage, but it's also storage where we can get at it and utilize equipment, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, and I'm very hopelessly optimistic that something's gonna happen, real soon. And
As you
we
should
can-
be.
And so, but kind of a side note, again, pancake breakfast, hopefully everyone will be there, and then we're looking forward to, working with the city council and the
Pancake, April 17th, Sunday, this Sunday?
Sunday, I believe 7:30 or 8 o'clock it starts till noon.
Till noon?
So swing by.
Okay. Thank you.
We've had a busy last month since the last meeting. First of all, I think you've seen on our Facebook post, one of our officers got hit by a distracted driver. Totaled our car. It's currently working on getting all the equipment out of it, so we'll be working on trying to get a replacement once the insurance company gives us a check for it so that we can process that through.
Did they total it?
Say what? They totaled it. It's totally gone. The back axle was ripped off, the whole side was caved in, all the airbags deployed.
Yeah.
It was a dandy accident, it's total.
Which car was it? What was the year on the car?
Well, it was
Newer.
2015.
Oh, of course, it was one of the new ones.
Well, it was the one we'd gotten in, it was a 2015 that we got in 2014 to replace the 2014 that got hit while we were over in St. Paul. Somebody ran a red light and smashed the car while it was over there. So it's not been good. So, but we're in the process of getting those numbers together. I talked to the insurance company the last couple of days, so as soon as we can get those numbers to them, then they'll cut us a check and then we'll go through the process.
Well, do you need to sign up for the equipment, installing all the equipment from that company that took so long last time?
Well, the reason it took so long last time is
They were backed up.
there was no equipment. No equipment had come in. We have equipment. It's in the car. The stuff in the car still is
So
there.
this one will get done.
So as soon as the car comes in, we'll just schedule with them. They'll put it in and we're ready to go.
Okay,
But
so
I've got to get them the information.
We're down how many cars? 2?
We're down, well, we're actually down 2 because one is being fitted right now. It's our brand new one that we just got. So that one would be in the rotation coming in. We got 2 this year. One went to the lieutenant and the other one's in the rotation. So
Okay.
we had to take a car out to strip it so that we could put it in this one.
Okay. Officer strength?
But that's where we're hurting. Currently, I've got 5 people that I basically can't use. I got the two gentlemen, the Wellborn twins that were sworn in on Monday night. They're going through FTO training right now. Jeff Knops, which I mentioned at the meeting, turned his resignation. His last day is Friday, but technically he's on vacation, so he's not working now. So that's the third one we're down. I've got one officer that broke a bone in his shoulder. He's out till mid-May. And I've got another officer just had surgery. He's down for 3 weeks. So I'm down basically 5 officers right now. Lieutenant Willems is looking at filling some shifts coming. So, and we've kind of had to take a hard line on time off and so forth. So we're only allowing one person off. We can't afford any more. Luckily, most of our training is done for the year, so we don't have to worry about that because we have to have all our training done by June 30th. So, but all that's taken care of. So our strength is back up, or we'll start to get back up. We have an eligibility list. The next gentleman in line, he passed his background already. I have not given him a conditional job offer yet until after the 15th. I'm figuring sometime mid-May he will start. He's an experienced officer or has already worked in this area, so it shouldn't take him as long as it will the Wellborn twins to get up and running. I expect him maybe 45 days and then he'll be on his own. So I'm hoping by July 1st to have everybody back up and running.
He's in a department around here.
Yes. I don't want to say anything right now until we get
No,
to
I
that.
know, but,
Yeah, he's from a department around here.
okay.
You want to talk more? I can talk after the meeting.
Yeah,
The other thing I wanted to bring up is regards to the construction on Vine Street, which is supposed to start next Monday. They were supposed to start down on First Street at the park. Do not know if they've gotten the permits yet for that, so that might be on hold. They might have to do a different section.
they also said they're blocking off the parking lot down there for a couple weeks.
Well, they're digging in the parking lot. There's gonna be no room in the parking lot. They're going all the way to the river.
Oh, yeah, with the stormwater, yeah.
Yeah, they're going all the way to the river, but they have, from the last time I checked, and Tom left already, the DNR hadn't given them a permit yet because of the water level being up. So I don't know if they've gotten that yet, so they might have to start at a different location.
Okay,
We still have not gotten the traffic pattern or the traffic detour routes from the contractor and the engineer yet. We had a tentative one, and then when we had a pre-con meeting, we brought up some issues, and they said they would get back to us. Still haven't gotten them yet. But if everything is supposed to go the way it was originally designed, the 100 block of Vine Street will be shut down. First Street at Vine will be shut down. The bathhouse parking lot will be shut down until about May 20th, sometime in that period. At the same time, the intersection of 3rd and Walnut Street is going to be shut down because they're going to be doing some work in that intersection. Now, depending on where XL Energy is on their gas movement, they might be in the area of 4th Street. Well, if they're on Vine at 4th, they're gonna shut down Vine Street at that location. So Vine Street could be shut down for months.
you know, there's nothing we can do but try to mitigate any issues that come up.
The biggest problem for us is that we're not gonna be able to use our parking lot, the library parking, that's
Yeah, I
gonna be
was
shut
gonna ask
out.
you what
That's not
your
gonna
plan
be
was.
available. And our only way for us to get to the police department is go down 2nd Street, come around to the back and come in. So what we're gonna probably end up doing is the meters down along First Street, we'll probably just not enforce those for the time being until First Street gets back up and running again and we get our parking lot opened up. And the bathhouse parking lot, obviously, because we've taken so much parking away, there's no place for people to
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. Yeah, we might have to be a lot flexible.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I just want to remind everybody about that. The other thing, going back to the distracted driving, beautiful weather out. I don't know, I listened to the radio today, we must have had 4 or 5 accidents out in the county. None in town that I'm aware of. People distracted going into the ditch, blowing stop signs, motorcycle accidents. Please, beautiful weather, we got people out walking, be careful.
Yeah.
Something else that, that brings up, people out walking, is there a way of doing some better education so that people know to walk on the opposite side of the street rather, facing the traffic rather than walking with the traffic?
Well, we can put that on our Facebook page. That's something we can do, just to
That would be helpful.
remind people, hey, if you're out walking and there's no sidewalk,
And
you're
the
gonna walk
city
on the
web-
street, you've gotta walk against traffic.
The city webpage too.
City webpage,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's a good
I can do
idea,
that.
because I see that all the time, and it scares me.
And the bad part is, a lot of people walking the street have got a sidewalk available to them,
Yeah.
they just don't use it, so. But yeah, we can put that on the page.
All right, thanks, Marty.
Sure.
Any informational items?
Well, I noticed that with one of the letters that was about Prospect Park, they talked about the lack of sidewalks in that area and concern about the kids not having sidewalks. Is that something that,
That would be a park board and a public work.
well, it's,
Say, I don't know where you're thinking, in the.
I don't know.
Where the hospital was? Which email was it?
well, all right, I can't, you know what, I looked for it and I couldn't find it. Because there were so many of those letters,
We're
but,
kind of moving back to number 5, so it is on the agenda.
okay. Well, I'm bringing this up as a future agenda item. Anyway, here is a map of all the sidewalks.
Yep, that was in the last.
Yeah, and so if you look near Prospect Park, there aren't any sidewalks in this area, and so, that might be something that should be.
In the park itself, or are you talking in the city
No,
blocks?
I'm talking about the city blocks, not the park.
That's a
So that
whole-
people who are
that's a
heading
whole-
to the park.
That's a whole different ballgame there, to install sidewalks.
Well, I'm just wondering what, I mean, this was brought up as a concern.
Yeah.
And our job is to listen, what would be the next step?
You would have to go to Public Works with that,
Public Works?
yeah.
Well, unless public safety decided that the public works should look at putting sidewalks in.
I mean,
and
if
refer
you-
it to them, but that
Yeah.
would be, I would think that you talk about putting sidewalks in areas that don't have sidewalks, and the citizenry just, I understand the point behind it,
Yeah.
and that's why all new developments have sidewalks put in.
Okay,
But an existing neighborhood that doesn't, you gotta take the boulevard, you take part of their property, and then you have to assess them the cost of the
so we should
sidewalk.
wait for them to ask for the sidewalks rather than.
I would, unless we've really got a real safety issue up, because I don't think we've had a lot of problems
Okay.
with pedestrians almost getting struck or getting struck up in that area, at least not that I'm aware of,
And I walk there quite a bit.
right?
Well, I just
Well, I
noticed
used
that in
to.
the, yeah, I noticed it in one of the letters, and I
Right.
thought, well. should
I'll look
bring
at
this
that
up.
letter again, but yeah, I would,
I'll see if I can find where it said that. And then there was some more information about some, installing some more light poles, along the road in Prospect Park too, so I'll bring that to the park board.
that would be a park board and
Yeah.
safety at some point, but
But, yeah, it's.
for future agenda, yes.
Okay, yeah, it's on the letter from Eric and Catherine Van.
Okay, I
Snellen.
got that one, yep.
Right at the end, it says, there are a few things we would really like to see done to better utilize this area and the rest of Prospect Park, so we should take a look at that next time.
Okay. Put that on for the next one. Any other items for future agendas? Chiefs? Seeing none, I'll move to adjourn.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you.
Okay.